What is up, game changers? Rays of sunshine warriors, soul path elites, right? Welcome to this week's energy, ascension wave energy that's coming in and a message from Creator. Also, I have a spell casting of the week for you guys to utilize throughout the week because there's some big shifts coming and we're in the midst of them actually. And God said very loudly today that it would really help if we have physical strength and we get grounded. Okay. So the more that our body is free and also strong, and the more grounded that we are, the easier it will be this week. Okay. So we're going to get into it. My name is Master Juniper Blue Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, a master healer, and a divine guide. Not only do I heal people, I heal animals alike, and I love it very much. I've also been bringing through the return of Christ since 2019. That's not a joke, but I can't also not say that because it's who I am. So check out this channel. I encourage you to do so because it really does all play out here. It was beyond my mind. It was beyond what I could imagine coming forward or what I knew possible. So give it space and time and just allow it to be whatever it's going to be for you. Okay? All right, so welcome. I also do have some cards in front of me that I will use today because I love my cards, right? Cards are wonderful. They're a great way to stay connected, to stay in the flow, um, and just an extra tool, right? An added tool of connection. So I did channel a message. I also channeled a spell casting for this week ahead. There are uncomfortable physical shifts coming, okay? Uncomfortable physical shifts coming. Now, I know that our body has to be, how do I put this? Because I don't want to say we all have to be bodybuilders and we all have to be perfect, but we should all be physically somewhat strong, be physically able to push through these energies, okay? Because it's going to be a physical challenge. And if you do not have a physical routine of some sort, which is also why I do the Healing Light Movement channel for you guys. It is physical routines, it's healing with light, it's exercise. But not only do I do that, I do exercise myself. Okay, I want my body back, right? Because when I activated the pyramids and things, I took a physical hit. I really did. So we have to be responsible for our own physicality, especially going forward more and more. Okay, the medical field will be one of the many fields that is about to change right in front of you. Okay, so consider we were living in a false reality. Healing is much more than they even knew. Okay, we all have capabilities of understanding our body, what it needs. We do still need each other from time to time, and the earth should provide, but the earth was also tampered with. So we were eating a lot of things that were genetically modified. And when I had my awakening, I was actually working in the behavioral field, you guys, in the autism field a lot, behaviorally and with other cognitive development things. And I had this sudden awakening, right? And so I started seeing things, and I also saw what caused autism. And I know they want to blame it on things like Tylenol, which I will tell you, blocking your physical emotions and energies doesn't serve you. Okay, we need to be able to feel. However, the true cause of it is the genetic modifications from foods to the pokies to all of those things, okay? Where they would genetically modify what does not align with our existence and being of light because the earth is alive, we are alive, and we should be connected. And you can actually see that in all the work that I've done, birthing the new earth and undoing what was not right. Okay, it's true. The earth is alive and she should read your DNA. Much like if you plant a plant and you put your DNA with it, it's going to become a superfood for you. It should be. Okay, so the earth should provide a great many things, but they modified a lot of things. A lot for benefit of their own, right? Mass production, things like that, just a false system. It was just a false system. And so wherever there were genetic modifications, it really did mess with our cognitive development. Birth defects could occur and more frequently. cancers and things. We're not meant to be sick. We really aren't meant to be. We were high frequency beings. And when that frequency was messed with on the planet, it changed many of things, okay? Because that's what happened. Some people think God caused the flood. That is not the case, okay? It goes back to Mount Shasta, Adam and Eve, Fiji, the God portal, the fallen, all of that stuff to what happened and what caused the flood. Okay? And you can catch that on this channel too. It's true. So I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna take a step back because I get so passionate, I go fast. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm rolling and flowing with you. Mm, mm. Okay. I think it's like MCG. I have my MCG oil coffee. I can't remember what that oil's called. So I'm constantly, you guys, in the ascension stuff, I've had to up my own game in physical health, mental health. I was a behavioral health specialist, and crisis specialist and things like that before this stuff. So I get health. I get a balance of health systems. Okay, I get that. But as a healer now, we were still detached from the totality of ourselves. So I've even upped my own game. I'm actually physically sore because I've been doing HIIT training. Have you ever heard of that? It's like really intense physical movements. But I also do it with dance. Um, I like me a little body grooving, but I also do my healing light movements. Okay. I do those. I draw the light in and I do all that almost daily. And so we do need to have a very healthy, disciplined routine. If we are not disciplined and in a healthy, balanced routine, it is going to hit you like a ton of bricks sometimes. Okay. Where we are anchored in, magnificent things can occur. Those are when we're rising, okay? But if we're not anchored in and if we're not in this balanced physical routine, um, it can get a little funky monkey, okay? So this week ahead, we have some uncomfortable shift in physical form. So pay attention to what your body is saying to you. You can sometimes feel like you have the flu. Sicknesses can and will rise, which is why they say that in the end times, one of the signs is plagues. It's not God going, you're sick and you're sick. It's the light coming in and cleaning out all the muck. And so, where those virus matrix walls are within you, sicknesses can and will occur. We can have an increase in like cancers and things like that. Tooth decay, I'm hearing teeth issues can be an issue. Ringing in the ears can get very overwhelming, to headaches can be quite because of the barometric pressure. Knee joint pains, right? So, pains in my fingers, my feet, my knees. Um, you're gonna feel whatever your body needs. You're gonna feel it heightened because we need to be coming more into ourselves. Okay. In the new earth, we will be 100% in ourselves. There will be no separation. We won't be outside of ourself anymore, which is going to be quite beautiful, but it takes some time to get there. So make sure you're working hard. And this week is a big wave of physical form, they're saying. Okay. All right. So get grounded. The spell casting I have is going to help us do that. You just might hear the trumpet. Okay. This is the week coming ahead. God says, get grounded because you might hear the trumpet. So what the trumpets are, if you haven't seen my channel, let me help you really quick. Just really fast. I'll give you a quick glimpse as I'm talking here of where to go to find it. But on my channel, in Birthing the New Earth, and I'm sure you guys have heard it about the prophecies and all this kind of stuff going on, is you're going to hear the trumpets in the end of days, right? What are these trumpets? They are alarm sounds, right? Kind of like what happened in California. They can be in physical form. But you should also hear things. You should see things that aren't quite normal. And I'm going to show you really quickly where to find what I'm going to tell you because while birthing the new earth, which I did over Lionsgate Portal for Return of Christ work recently, we birthed the new earth and that separated all darkness. We cannot be duality anymore. So as I was doing that, day 7 were the 12 trumpets. 12 angels, beings of light that are not the common ones that I work with every day, right? These were different angelic presence. Um, why can't you see my screen? There it goes. Okay. So it's different angelic presence. This is the Return of Christ Ascension playlist. Okay. It's all the work that I did because I did it. God had me record it and not probably the way you would think it was. Like something happened and I'm like, I got to record these. So I was doing healing sessions and workshops. And so recording them benefited everybody. So I started recording them before the work started coming through. So God knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? As long as we follow along and listen to those nudges, beautiful things occur. So there's a lot people haven't watched. But if you go all the way down to the playlist, into the playlist through all the Return of Christ work, that is very real. These are the work. Activating Ecuador, masculine pyramids, feminine pyramids, clearing Mount Shasta, all of that is in this list. Some of you are aware of that, and some of you are not. But all the way at the bottom, you're going to find where pretty much where we're at now is the earth is processing her death. Things are dying, okay? But she will survive. But the false systems will not. So God shifted plans. The 7-year tribulation came to an abrupt end. Okay, heart reviews are in full swing. We are actively rising through the portals. Okay, so in order to do that, I had to birth New Earth. Day 1, this is what happened. Day 2, this is what happened. You'd have to watch them. They're actual workshops. But if you go to day 7, really quick, and then I'm going to click off this, there were 12 trumpets and angels, gates of heaven. My dentist is calling. I'm like, what do you want? I don't think I have an appointment today. I don't think I have an appointment today. Okay. So if you go to day 7, birthing the new earth, 12 trumpets and angels, gates of heaven, 3 major events to occur. Okay. There will be 3 major events occurring to cause people to look up. And God said that, but there were 12 trumpets. They would literally play trumpets. And during certain gates, major catastrophic events would occur for the matrix side. So for people who because the earth has her own karmic kickback, she's readjusting to what should be. Okay. And you can call it the wrath path. But this is big. All right. And so there's a trumpet coming. That's what God is saying this week. There is a trumpet coming. Okay. I don't think they can even leave a voicemail. So let's just see what happens there. Like, why is they call me all the time? It's so annoying. Like, stop it. You get I'm constantly going to you, dentist. Leave me alone. Okay. I don't like the dentist. I want holistic stuff more and more and more. All right. You know, I should do healings on our teeth. I should do that. I really should. I do them on the animals all the time in animal healings that I do. Their teeth come in, so I know I can do it. I don't know why I never done that. Maybe I should. All right, anyways. Back to the here and the now. This week, get grounded. You just might hear the trumpet. Okay, so they said uncomfortable shift in physical form. Get grounded. You just might hear the horn / trumpet. So you need to be connected to the earth to see these things clearly, but we might hear the horn. What that means, we'll have to play out. Staying calm, no matter what happens, and riding the wave of the storm of transform. Okay? Remembering now or noticing it is so that we can't keep doing things the same way. So we have to change the way we're doing things. God is saying that really loudly right now, okay? Giving yourself permission to do things differently. And even if they can't fully be seen, right? So we have kind of lost the ability to have hope and faith and go beyond what can be seen. We've lost a little bit of that. We look a lot for what can be seen. And energy is not that, right? Like it's so layered. There's so much more than we can see. We can actually feel a lot more than we can see. Okay, which is another reason why we were all medicated a lot. Because then you can't feel it all. So this week, super important to get grounded because you might hear the trumpet. You're going to feel some physical transformations, and what that means for you will be individual because it depends on where your physical being is, okay? But if you do not have a healthy routine of some form of exercise, God walks, grounding, clearing chakras would be really good, but I understand not everybody knows how to do that, but they do. I feel like when we come to an awakening more and more, people will understand this more and more and more. We cannot keep doing things the same way. So what this is telling me is there are waves of change coming in, and we need to allow ourselves and give ourselves permission, because that's what's coming up next, is giving yourself permission to do things differently. Okay. Even if we can't fully see or understand what that means in totality, is just knowing that, you know what? The way I used to do things in the Matrix, I can't do them that way anymore. The way I used to react and respond, the way I used to listen to my body, the way I used to give my power away all the time with my own body and my own health and my own knowing, like I can't do that anymore. Okay. This is a big physical shift. We should be evolving as a species, but God says in order to evolve, you have to process the virus matrices first. So if you have those in your system, you might get some of those virus kickbacks rising. Okay. Nothing is set in stone is also coming forward. Okay. So it's very important to remember you are the creator in your reality. We are entering into new earth frequencies more and more and more. And you are a sovereign being of light. They have lost all control over you. And so it's your job to be making sure you're calling that back, standing in your power, and being very aware of what it is you focus on. Okay. The more awareness you give yourself of what you focus on, and you're paying attention to what you think and what you say, you're realizing what you're creating. Because everybody manifests. We are always manifesting. The higher your vibration goes, the more you have a lens of love and joy and gratitude, and the more you know and trust that you are that creator, you let those shackles go, and you can call things in very quickly. Your frequency matters. Okay. So nothing is set in stone. Remember, you are the creator in your reality. Be aware of what you are focusing on. Okay. We need to really have a reality check this week of what we're focusing on individually and collectively. Less being. We need to stop just being. We need to stop just being, and we need to do. Okay. More doing, less being required. Less seeing, more believing. Bringing magic back. Okay. So be aware of what you focus on. Nothing is ever set in stone. You're the creator. Okay. What you fully believe, you will create. Either way. So remember that. Be aware of what you're focusing on. Less being, more doing. I want you guys to consider this because you guys are fragments of the one. Okay. It's like lots of God's pieces of light spread out. Okay. And your job is to work your way into more love to make your way back to the whole of the one. So everything you do, because we're all connected here, everything you do affects you and God. Okay. Um, God is vast, God is everything. But just imagine all of those waves of light and frequencies spread out, right? So consider everything you do does affect everyone and creator. You can't hide these things, okay? So don't hide them from you either, because it just does no good. So remember that it's not just about you, right? It's all connectedness, everything for the greater good of all, right? Everything for the greater good of all. That's important. That's a new earth blueprint. So we need to have less being. I can't just be here, and expect things to happen to me. You can't just be here and expect things to happen to you. You need to be doing. Okay. The more doing, the more things happen through you. Less being, nothing happens to you. More doing, everything happens through you. Okay. All right. Also, just less seeing and more believing, because these things are going to be on our ability to always physically see them. Right? Can we see the trumpets? No. Can you hear them and feel them and observe the shift in the planet? If you're aware, if you're tuned in, if you're quiet, if you're still, if you're grounded, probably so. Sometimes you won't be able to avoid them, okay? Because there will be three major events. I'm not talking just a warning earthquake. I'm talking life-changing ones, okay? And those events in day 7, God specifically said, will cause people to look up and rise. So remember, if you watched my other video, I asked God on the 2025 predictions to explain. So the religion has a version of Judgment Day. I asked God during bringing through the return of Christ, because I was like, look what's happening. Like, this has to do with Jesus and Sekhmet and Horus and Mary Magdalene and Adam. And like, what is happening? I was like, so what is Judgment Day? Because God doesn't judge. So can you clarify that? I literally asked God that. And he said, it's your reap what you sow day. It's karmic return. Okay. Because you have free will. You're a pure sovereign being. So everything you does affects everything and everyone and comes back to you. We are manifestors, right? So everything we put out, we create in the energy. So that's just what karma is. You feel me so far? And so this is what God said. I'm going to read it again. Because there will be 3 main events in the earth in the final days, which we are in, the final ways. We are in the final waves. Okay, we are in the day of reckoning. That's what God's calling it. Day 7, there will be 12 trumpets playing, and this week we might actually hear a trumpet. That means we are rising through the frequencies. We are rising through the gates, the ascension portals, the pyramids and all that. So those 3 major events are going to cause people to look up. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Luckily, nothing comes out. That's why I don't sneeze through my nose. So there will be 3 major events through those 12 gates, those 12 trumpets. 3 major events. I'm not talking little small ones. Those are to get people to pay attention. The 3 major ones are things that we can't take back, right? Like we can't go back through. We don't want to go back through. But they will cause people to look up and rise. Now listen to this. God's version of Judgment Day, because this makes sense. Some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way. And I always thought that means the ones that stay are the ones rising. We are the ones ascending, because I did it to the earth. So I asked God to clarify that. And he said, justice served, heart reviews applied, some will rise to blue skies. So then I asked him to even deepen that understanding. And he said, some will see the error of their ways through karmic ties and clear it out on the other side, because you have to clear all karma to stay here. Or never know life this way. Okay. Never know life this way are the complete fallen. They are cut off from the light altogether, and they will never have the choice to rise. Okay. Some will seek to higher ground where only love can be found. Those are the ones ascending. So the 3 main events going through the 12 gates, you can watch that on day 7. God literally said during that workshop, as I was doing the work, and actually it was the angels that day, they were just coming through playing trumpets, and major events occurred. Some were like tornadoes, water, changing land. It's in there. The 3 main events will cause people to look up and rise. That's what he said. Okay, so this week coming forward, we may hear a trumpet. We have to be grounded, and it is a physical shift in uncomfortable form. Okay, so focus on your health, your body, staying connected to the earth, but strengthening your body. All right, so where do you feel weak? Do you feel weak in your core? Do you feel weak in your arms? Like in the Return of Christ work, my arm was attacked with my old DM and stuff, and like this bone was split in half. It popped out right here. And it was a horrible, it was a freak accident. They couldn't explain. I couldn't have surgery, right? And so it hurts into my shoulder, and I can't let that be an excuse. So every day I'm still moving it. Like I'm exercising. After 3 years of, I'm finally doing some push-ups too. Like it's intense. And so where there's a will, there's a way, right? Like we can't allow excuses to stop us. Listen to your body though. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you want to push yourself. Okay. You want to grow. You want to strengthen your physicality, your mentality, and your spirituality. Cool, cool. All right. So let's go into the spell casting. Bum, 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 boo. Okay, so take your time with this section because I'm going to read it and you can write it down. Anyways, so you can write it down so that way you can have it and use it this week, okay? Speak it, intend it, set it into the energy, write it down, and that's how you can use this spell casting, okay? All right, so I always call in the creator, set my intentions and things, but you can just literally sit down, calm your mind, go into your heart space and write. I remove all resistance and I call back my energy and my power from all spaces, seen and unseen. Pause the video and write it down if you need to. I'm going to do it twice. I put up protections and open my heart and eyes for miraculous things. I ground my energy in powerful ways so that I may intently ride the waves, being full aware of all energetic frequencies. My vibration rises beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to read it again, but I'm also going to light some blue sage while I do this one. All right, and then I will pull some cards for the week ahead. Do the channeled message, and then I'll pull some cards. Oh, I swear I live at my dentist office lately. They want me to come in again. Anywho, all right, so I'm gonna light I have my candle lit. You guys don't see that. I make my own spell casting candle, so that is actually already lit. I always light those to do videos and everything. And I am currently lighting my sage. Dun, dun, dun. The drama, the intensity. Oh, not really. Just cleansing the air, and I'm calming the space, and I'm going to call you guys into the spell casting, okay? I do it twice to bring clarity, give you time to write it down, all right? And now I'm going to bring you into it. Kampaya talaua, puiwa layo kotorua, la kampaya talakatraeo. That is actually language of the gods. There's different light languages, but during the return of Christ, I got to bring back that language. So it's different. It's new again and old at the same time. This is spell casting with the gods. It's what it is. Breathe. Allow the smoke to purify your space. There is no separation. All right, beautiful. So highest light in and highest light out only. Creator presence and angels as well that wish to accompany. Calling in the energies of the northeast, south, and the west anchored back into the north in a complete line of divine connection, love, light, and support. Calling in all elements of frequency and sound, of beings of light and energy of earth that can be found, to support us, to bring comfort and ease, and allow us to anchor into the spell casting in every way, completely, individually, and collectively. And so it is. I remove all resistance and I call back my energy and my power from all spaces, right now, seen and unseen. I put up protections and open my heart and eyes for miraculous things. I ground my energy in powerful ways so that I may intently ride the waves, being full aware of all energetic frequencies. My vibration rises beautifully. And then I'm going to add in, I am filled with gratitude, love, and joy. So it is. Okay. Beautiful spell casting to use through this week. It's important that you can use it. I don't care how many times, use it repeatedly. Anytime you feel off, anytime you might feel these uncomfortable physical shifts, use it because it's calling your power back. It's clearing out any energy. And it's getting grounded. Okay. It's also being aware and open to the frequency shifts. All right. Okay, my friends, let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, so I'm being drawn to my Lumeria deck. And I mean, it's the Lumeria deck that I own. And it's not personally mine, but then I also have my decks that I created in front of me. And I have one of my older, very first moon decks. I feel the moon a lot lately. The moon is definitely in full energetic awareness. Not just because the cycles, I have to say, and remember, when you are a pure channel, everything you say matters for the message. But the moon is in full cycle awareness. Like it is really front and center in the energy, and it is fully aware. Okay. So they want me to say that also, just beautifully aware. And I have to say, there was resistance to this video, to coming on today. There was resistance to being here at all. There was resistance against love for my DM. So I keep having this energy come in that wants me to like battle my DM. And I'm like, he is not my enemy. I'm not at war with my DM. Like, no. And so I have to push past it and I have to spend some time clearing that out of my energy and then coming to the space where I'm like, I'm loved. I know he loves me. Even though that's hard for me to believe, I know he loves me, right? And so we are that creator. Remember that. And it matters what we say, what we feel, what we do, what we are, and what we allow to be. It matters. Okay. Very much so, it matters. So keep that in mind. All right. So let's see what the Lemuria cards. Ooh, yes. Push past the resistance. I am abundant. I am love. I am joy. I am love. I am finally seen. Right? I'm okay with being seen. I am safe. Yes. He loves me and I love him. Yes. Speak beauty only no matter what's coming in because you have to, the choice you have to make is this love or is this not love? Is this my power or am I giving it away? Those are the most important things you need to pay attention to as we are rising into new earth. The most important things, okay? And it's only as difficult as you give it. Yep. So realm bridging, that's what I feel. It's like I don't necessarily feel we're going through a portal, but I feel like we are bridging the realms. We are combining the energies. We are allowing that portal to integrate that some of us may have made it through. Okay. So realm bridging. Okay. We are bridging, we are incorporating the shifting energies, and that goes with the message this week. It really does. That's what that's talking about. So our mind does it, our body does it, and our spiritual self does it. So it is our job to give space and to align with all the frequencies, which was also in that spell casting. Okay. So very important realm bridging this week. Okay. We are bridging the realms. We are allowing the newness to integrate, allowing some of the old to fade away, and combining what needs to remain from the two different frequencies of self. Okay. All right, then we have air paradigm shift. This is of the mind. This is about a new perspective, new perspectives, but also your reality is shifting. This reminds me of Mandela effects. I remember with all the work that I would do, if you watch them, oftentimes Spirit would say, okay, make way for a new Mandela effect, because the work that I do is real and it wasn't normal, and it changed time. It changed the earth frequency and things, which causes Mandela effects. It causes the new timelines. And so within those, you should have a new reality playing out. You should rise to a new reality. God says also, being the strength in the storm is in this card. And also, being willing to do things differently than we may have been used to doing them, realizing our world has shifted, right? So I always see these as like the blinds. Like the blinds were once up and now my reality has shifted. So now they're facing down, or they were closed and now they're open, right? Um, so full awareness applied, but it's changing perspectives. It's like a new way of doing, being, and creating. Okay. A paradigm shift is upon you, a new way of seeing the world around you. And it's like we're coming right out of a portal. And this is what this is showing me. So we also need to surrender. Okay, we need to surrender. What can we control? So I feel like that's where we struggle the most, is like, wait, you say I'm a creator, but I have to surrender. You have to co-create, because these things are beyond our mind space, right? More being, less seeing, less seeing, more believing. Okay, so these things are beyond our mind space. So we have to be co-creating with spirit, not ego, not fear, not the shadow, but spirit, not our mind, but our heart space. Okay, we have to be doing that. So, um, surrender to those nudges, but that doesn't mean surrender to the resistance, because you have to push past the resistance. Okay. I did today just to be here. There was all this resistance going, don't show up. There was resistance for my workout. There was resistance for love with my DM. And maybe I don't feel his love, but I'm like, no, I love him. He loves me. It's okay. I'm not picking up anything else. He is not my enemy. He is not my battle, right? My old DM might have been a little bit, but he had more healing than my new one to do. My new one just needs to trust and to feel love, first of all. And so I'm like, wait, something's wrong. And so I have to try to clear that. And it can be difficult. And so we need to surrender when things like our ego tries to get into play, where we're like, I know better than God knows. Like, I'm a creator, I can do it my way. We can't always do it our way, but if we're doing it through the tools of our spiritual cortex and are anchoring into the right things, you would realize it is your way, because God only guides you through your heart space. It's through your soul path, not a false path of blindness. Do you feel what I'm saying? And when that happens, it's soul growth. And so we have to surrender in those moments and give ourselves permission to do it anyways, to push past that resistance. We have to give ourselves permission to listen to spirit's nudges, even if we don't fully understand it, or even if it's not our way. But in truth, it really is. It's not from a limited space, however. Okay. So when you come to the understanding that anytime your heart is guiding you, God is guiding you, spirit is guiding you, it's with the presence of your soul path, your higher self, your purpose, it's your heart space. So in truth, you really do want it, okay? Um, and then remember I told you this week, it's about the body. We need to be present in our body and we need to be strengthening. Also, you might feel some pains rising this week. It's very important to be that internal explorer. Okay. When this card comes up, it speaks very loudly of everything that happens because the universe resides within us, right? Our chakra systems are comprised of fragmented pieces of the universal flow. Okay, we are that. We are smaller aspects of the universe and of God. That's what we are. It's all within us. So when things are happening on the outside, we're going to feel it on the inside. Anything that happens on the outside or on the inside is going to reflect on our outside. So it is our job. This is what we can control, is where there's resistance. Why? Internally explore through your body. Why do I feel this yuck and muck? Why am I not feeling a high vibration? Why am I getting sick? What is my body telling me? We need to internally explore because you're going to heal that way. Okay. Everything on the outer is also reflected inside. Everything inside is reflected outside. So no matter what happens, you need to go within yourself, explore, clear out until you feel free. Okay. Until it's processed, until it's released, until it's shifted. Internal exploration is so important. You know how when people get like number synchronicities and they're always Googling the meanings? If you learn to internally explore, you're going to find the meaning. Okay. You learn to communicate that way. I teach that in my courses. And it's a journey to wholeness, my friends. Okay. It is a journey to being whole. That's the ascension. If you are rising to being whole. You cannot be fragmented anymore. We cannot be wounded. Like, why would you want to be? No excuses. Like, I feel like it's all just like we've got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, the ascension is those who are on the journey to being their whole self and letting go of what is not and utilizing the tools and co-creating with spirit from the heart space. And they just want joy and love because it ain't going to be about ego and greed. Money is not going to be more important than love. If money is more important to you than love, you're not rising. Okay. Journey to wholeness. Don't get me wrong. I want to be able to get Christmas for my kids. I want people to recognize my heart, right? To place value in the work that I do. We all want those things. But what's more important to me is feeling good, being in balance, being open, going with the flow of God. I love God. I love love. And I love my DM. That's what kept me going. It wasn't money. It wasn't any, I shifted out of a career that was lucrative. Okay. Um, and when you let those things go and love is more important, that's when abundance reigns in the new earth. Okay. All right. So we did just kind of go through a portal shift. Some of us are still integrating that portal. So this talks about a lot. All right. So this is from my new deck, Guided Ascending Light, Epic Light Healing Journey. This is the message coming forward this week, and this goes again with the channeled message for sure. Okay, we have Twitter-plated butterflies, solar plexus chakra. Do you see the brain in the jar of the yellow? Okay, so your solar plexus is so connected. You're gonna feel transmute. You're gonna understand a lot in your solar plexus more than you will your head. Okay, and so that gut-brain connection is so important. Having a solar plexus that's healthy and balanced and clear, taking care of your gut health, and then tuning into your solar plexus just as much as you turn into your heart is so important because you need to be able to hear the messages it brings. All right. That is also where we reflect our soul out to the world. And the number one place I was attacked during the Return of Christ work repeatedly. They blew out my solar plexus. I don't know how many times. My stomach reflects that. Like, and I blew it out myself one time before my twin flame journey. Oh yeah, I was scared and I didn't even know why. So I did. I took an Atlantean crystal that I found when I was activating pyramids in the energy and I shoved it in my solar plexus and spirit had to stop and wait 3 days to repair it and rebuild it. I thought it was because of the pyramid activations I was doing, but later I found out it was because I was subconsciously afraid of my twin flame. Um, and that union journey because it was life or death. And somehow I survived. And unfortunately, he did not. I got a walk in. Okay, so it was a big deal. Your solar plexus is very important. It's your power center. It's the fire in your belly, right? And also, have you ever heard of the saying like the knots, like listen to the knots in your stomach or follow the gut? My gut told me so, right? My gut, I felt it in my gut. Yeah, your gut is everything. Okay. So when this card comes up, you need to cleanse out your solar plexus and listen to it intently. Also, I'm hearing somebody's solar plexus is out of balance. Your compass should be focused within, internal explorer. Okay. Release old patterning, outdated blueprints because we just went through a portal. So that's this realm bridger. And that was also part of the message this week, wasn't it? We got to do things a little differently. So now that we've made it through a portal for those that have, if you hear me, chances are you might have. If you hear me, right? Like you can see me and hear my mouth move, but do you hear me? Release those old patternings and the outdated blueprints so that you can integrate the new ones, right? Less seeing, more believing, and change the way we do things. Focus recalibration required. So what you are focusing on will either blind you and bind you or allow you to be free. Okay, so what am I focusing on? I can't focus on what I don't have or what I want. I focus on what I can do in the moment to create and stay in balance and raise my vibration and clear my energy and be healthy physically. I've been getting up in the morning and kicking my own ass, like exercising and moving and not letting anything stop me. Today, I heard don't exercise. You don't need to. I felt this energy of don't do anything today. And I was like, oh, I got to push past it. I may be behind schedule because I battled that, but it's okay. I'm going to keep going. I heard don't post the video, you know? And here I am. Okay, so important choices ahead, path change coming. The choices you make determine the path you are on. Okay, the choices you make, free will applied. That's what your heart review is reflecting, is what's in your heart and what are your choices. Determines the path you are on and where you will go. Okay, so coming through those portals, what choices you made determines where you go through them. Also determines the activations and the reality you see and have. Okay, and what you focus on matters. Remember, nothing is set in stone. All right, and now we need to look to, okay, I need to do things differently now because I'm grown. I'm a grown ass woman or man, right? I got to do things differently now. There's no excuses. I hear that is very toxic. Making excuses for behaviors do not serve you. Okay. Clear your solar plexus so that you can hear your messages intently. A lot of people focus on the heart space, the third eye, the crown chakra. You also need to just as much and equally to the heart space, focus on your solar plexus. That is the place I was attacked. Oh God, they blew it out. I don't know how many times. The biggest attack from the fallen angels, when I was battling the deep blue sea, God called it. God said I was battling the deep blue sea, and it was with my DM journey. I woke up in the middle of the night in so much pain, so much pain. I was like screaming and moaning, and this was the second time this happened. The first time my DM was doing something, it was painful, but this time he was hearing me and he was like aligning with me and you know, all because I battled for that love. And I woke up in so much pain. They attacked my solar plexus. There was like, it was like Shawshank Redemption. There was like some energetic sword. It was hurting so bad. Like I was in a lot of pain. Like I can't even read it. It sucked all the life out of me. All my teeth hurt, which I went to the dentist then. And they're like, I don't know why. Like my whole, like it sucked all the minerals out of my body, all the life out of my body. And I had to teach somebody how I was doing my acad. That's when my academy became a thing because God said, teach them how to heal. So I did. And I was like, help me. And then during the healing, I started like energetically throwing up from my solar plexus and it looked like stuffing, and then it looked like I think cockroaches. I was throwing up, and it was so gross, and it was so painful. It wasn't physically, it was energetically. It was horrible. And then it was like all this black tar stuff in my chakras. Oh, and God said it was an attack of fallen angels. I was battling three fallen angels at the time. Or what he called the fall. It was the fallen angels. It was painful, you guys. Like they always attacked my solar plexus. Yeah. The other time was when I first aligned to my DM in the middle of the night. He literally must have been on drugs or something, extremely blinded and with a fallen. Like she was not a good soul. Not of light at all, God says. And he tried to rip my soul out of my body so he can put it in hers. And I don't talk about that a lot either. And I was screaming. I literally at 3 a.m. got in my car and left and drove around crying. I had to get away from there. It was horrible. So my journey was very painful. It was very physical as well as spiritual, as well as mental and everything. So when I tell you guys it took all that I had to survive through the return of Christ, it did. And I did it for you. I did it for all of mankind. And I did it for God because I love God. And I did it for that love that I felt for my DM, even if it hasn't been reciprocated. So when the shadow comes up and tries to get me to battle my DM, I'm like, that's not my battle. That's not my battle. My battle is the shadow. Okay. So one final card for lesson we're learning right now, main lesson through this portals is, these are my ascension portal messages that I channeled as I was activating the pyramids. Okay. Just because some believe one thing does not make it so. Be careful what you believe in. Follow your own soul. In order to rise, you have to be on your soul path no matter what others say to you. You have to detach from the path of the matrix that you were on, and you have to be soul path aligned. If you are not, and it's going to go against what others are going to throw judgments at you about, if you are not rising. Okay. So just because a whole bunch of people believe the Holy Grail was one thing does not make it so. Just because a whole bunch of people believe it was just Jesus does not make it so. Okay? We were all taught a bunch of lies. And so when you allow other people's judgments to get you, those judgments become you because they are blinded. Okay? They are blinded. So you have to be a soul path warrior. You have to be on your soul path no matter what others do. And I've been doing it against all judgments, against everything. And if I didn't, we wouldn't be ascending. The war would, the yucky wouldn't be ending. We wouldn't be free. So just because some believe one thing does not make it so. Be careful what you believe in. Follow your own soul. Just like the V's, right? Emotions can be overwhelming. Oh my goodness, yes, they can. But it is important to feel them and allow them to flow through you. That is the way of mastery. Okay. There is no perfection. There is only self-mastery. Perfection comes from judgment, from needing approval of others. Doesn't matter what others think. You have to be riding your soul. It is about growth of the soul. Okay. Coming to wholeness, right? Internal exploring, surrendering to spirit, surrendering to your soul path. and learning to communicate with your emotions because you have been detached from those, from the medical field and the psychological one. The earth did that. The world did that to you. Okay. But you're not a victim. Nothing happens to you, only through you. So take that back. All right. And learn to ride those emotional waves. Just like I did this morning, I put my schedule off, but I was like, I have to push past this. I'm going to do it anyway. And I got up and I kicked my ass. I'm so sore. I sweated my butt off doing my workout. You know, you know what I'm saying? I may not be 100%, but I'm pushing through. All right. And so emotions can be overwhelming, especially when they're backed up, they become compound. So when we deal with one emotion as it rises, we're good. But when we push it off and push it off, they become compounded. Then we have anger issues, depression, all of those. Okay. Those are compounded emotional states of being, and those are symptoms of a bigger issue. So we got to dive through those. They don't go away. Okay, so emotions can be very overwhelming, and nobody really wants to sit with you in your darkest of emotions, trust me, because they can't even handle their own half the time. So I understand. It can feel scary, it can feel lonely, it can feel overwhelming, we can get tired. But if we truly anchor into the right things and we push those out and we listen to them intently and we keep riding the waves, it gets easier and easier and easier, I promise you. So feel them and allow them to flow through you. Talk to them, learn the lessons, let them process. That is the way of mastery. You must see it, feel it, and move it to heal. Your body says physically, but it's all attached emotionally. Protecting your future. Okay. We all have ways of securing and protecting our future. Consider logic and protection. Just like when you're manifesting. I knew this lady, and on her Facebook pages in fine print, she would say, anything you put on here now belongs to me. But most people couldn't see that detail. And then she would ask people to tell them what they were working on. What are you manifesting? What are you working on? Post it here so I can help you. And little did they know that now she had a right to your ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some shady stuff. So you just, when you're creating, when you're doing anything, just protect your energy. You have to protect your energy because we have to be on our soul path to rise. You guys, this is the end of ways. It's not a game. It's not a maybe. It's not a yesterday. It's not a tomorrow. It's a now. Okay. We have to rise now. And if you let things take that away from you, you lose an opportunity you can't get back. All right. Surrender to love and release all lack. Soul path warriors. Lights of ascension. Game changers for all of mankind. God is asking you to help. And you do it through this. So much love, my friends. Have a beautiful week ahead. I love the message. And until next time, boo, boo. See you later.